Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoebeck, and I'm going to do my February 2021 book haul. So it's a little excessive. I'm trying so hard to be better about buying, but I just let myself go. I think February just was a hard month for me. And also I did that thing where I bought books in January, but they didn't show up until February, so I didn't count them in January. So anyway, I have 22 books to show you, and they're a mixture of new and used all across the board. So I've kind of split them up into groups to get through these. So let's start with some of the more modern translated works. I have, of course, a couple of ones from Japan. I have Yasunari Kawabata Dandelions, which is translated by Michael Emmerich. So this is very slim little, her books are usually pretty small. I read her Territory of Light. Was it last year or the year before? Anyway, and I've been meaning to get back to reading more of her stuff, and this one I've had on my wish list forever, and it finally showed up. I love how the trees are just painted. This one has to do with a woman who has kind of a, I think they call it body blindness, where she just can't see certain things, and it starts out where she can't see a ping pong ball, and then at some point she can't see her fiance. So she's like, it's like selective. So I'm not sure how this is gonna go. It's really short. So, but again, I liked her other work, so I wanted to read more of that. A Quiet Place by Shiichi Matsumoto. So this is also from the Japanese, translated by Louise Heal Kawai. So this is more of a mystery. A man, I guess, who is, he goes off to for work and stuff, out of town or something, and then he gets a call that his wife has died, but she had a heart condition, so he's not surprised that she died, but she dies somewhere where he doesn't know that she usually is very recluse and stays home most of the time. So he's like, why was she there when she died, and all that kind of thing. So I think it's a mystery of what actually his wife was doing. I'm not sure, but I've been wanting to get that for a long time, and I finally just bought it. Childhood Youth Dependency by Tove Ditlevsen. This is translated by Tina Nully and Michael Favala Goldman. And I think it's from the Danish, because she's from Denmark. And it's kind of an autobiographical novel about a woman's journey through life. So I've been seeing a lot about this. I saw those, there was like pink covers that came out, I think last year or the year before, you know, something like that. And they were like individual, but they were so expensive to me, so I didn't buy it. And then the US version is coming out soon, or just came out, and has the ugliest cover ever. So I went searched for a different cover, and I found this, one of the Penguin Modern Classics, so I was glad to get a different copy. The Enlightenment of the Green Gage Tree by Shukuru Faye Azar, I think. This is translated from the Persian by Anonymous. They didn't want to put their name on the book. So this is about a ghost girl, I think, in Iran. He's talking about whose family was had to leave Tehran during, I think, the Islamic Revolution, or it's 10 years after that. I'm not quite sure if it's in 1979 or the story takes place or after that, so I'm not sure. But I have heard a lot of people have talked about this and I've been meaning to get to it, so I finally just bought a copy. Tender is the Flesh by Augustine Basterra. This is translated from the Spanish by Sarah Moses. This is our Argentinian novel. Again, it's a horror novel more, so it looks kind of interesting. I think it has to do with the people. Okay, so the meat, we can no longer eat, the humans can no longer eat animal flesh. For some reason, there's some kind of disease of some sort, or something happens. So they are resorted to having people who are the meat. And I think this follows the story of a man who interacts with somebody who is considered the meat. Anyway, so we'll see how that goes. And then I got Palace Walk by Nagub Mafos? I'm not sure. I saw several people reading this for Invisible Cities this month, in February for Egypt. So this is the first in the Cairo trilogy. So I think it follows a man and his family, their ups and downs and kind of things. So I don't know a whole lot about it. I just know a lot of people were reading it. So, but I got the first one, a pretty good copy at Pals for pretty cheap. So I didn't get to it in February, but I'm hoping at some point I will get to read that. Then I have translated, then I have some classics. So the first couple ones, and again, these are modern and older classics. I have, of course, one Japanese one, The Sailor Who Fell from Grace with the Sea by Yukio Mishima. This is translated by John Nathan. So I wanted to buy all these books that are in these cool covers. They're so awesome. And this is the only one that I didn't own in another copy. So I didn't let myself buy any of the other ones. But they were all so cool. But I got one. At least I got one in this edition. So I don't know a whole lot about this one, except I think it has to do with some kids, some 13-year-olds who are, thinking they're adults, and they, I think they kind of worship one of the, like a sailor who is seeing one of their mothers. And then there's kind of some kind of fallout. I'm not quite sure what happens, but it's not very long. And I have read other books, another book by him, but I own it, but I can't think which one it is right now. But again, modern classic. I also picked up The Three Kingdoms, Volume 1, The Sacred Oath by Lou. Hey, cat. No. Sorry, he's trying to get in that door. Lou Gonzana. No! Dude, cat. I don't know what my cat's doing. Sorry, he's attacking. Anyway, so this is like a historical fiction from Japan. I'm actually not sure. I can't remember now when it was first brought out. But it's like, there's like 3 volumes and stuff. Oh, this is translated by Yu Shumei. So anyway, I bought the first one. I might buy the next 2 when they drop in price at some point, but it's considered one of the 4 great classics of, the greatest of the 4 great classics of Chinese literature. So I don't know. It has to do, as I said, we'll see. It's like historical fiction. I also got, the posthumous, memoirs of Bras Cubis by, Makoto Assis? I don't know how you say this name. So I believe this is from Brazil. So this is translated from I believe this, what are they, Spanish? Oh man, I don't remember. By Flora Thompson DeVoe. Anyway, so I think this has to do with a man who also is dead, and I think he's telling I think an aristocrat telling his story. It said 160 brief chapters telling about his failed romances and half-hearted political ambitions, but they're really short. Some of them are like a page, some are like 2 or 3 pages. That sounds interesting. I mean, so I know I saw this on YouTube somewhere, and I picked it. I decided finally to get it. I also picked up a little black classic of Mary Shelley, Matilda. So this, it's a dark story of a bereaved man's disturbing passion for his daughter. And again, I've heard really weird things about this, so I just wanted to be able to read it and see what I thought. So anyway, I got that. I also picked up Scenes of a Clerical Life by George Eliot. I was hoping to kind of get myself to read more George Eliot this month by joining with Kim at middle of the book march, her read along. I mean, I wasn't like joining because I didn't know if I'd get to it because I didn't own a copy, and then I finally just bought one, and then I didn't get to it. So hopefully at some point, I think there are like 3 novellas that are kind of, I don't think they're kind of loosely connected, but there's some of her more earlier work. So, and again, Victorian, so I would like to get to that at some point. I have a lot of George Eliot still to read. And then I have an Australian mystery classic from 1886. This is The Mystery of the Handsome Club Cab, I cannot say this. The Mystery of the Handsome Cab, I think, by Fergus Hume. So, I've seen this a couple times mentioned, and I think I just recently, did I see it on Simon at Savidge Reads? I think I just saw somebody talk about it, and I was like, oh yeah, I do want that, and I ordered it right away. So that's what happens. But I do like, want to read more Australian classics as well. And I knew this is one of the mysteries that I wanted to pick up, so I finally got this copy. So anyway, so those are those. So then let's go more fantastical. I do have a Gothic Wakenhurst by Michelle Paver. So this has to do with, I think, a girl whose dad finds some weird picture in the graveyard, and then he kind of comes obsessed with it. Anyway, sounds kind of gothic and crazy and weird. I did buy this really cool copy from Blackwell's. That was my first experience buying from them. That was kind of cool. From the UK. That was fun. And then I have a couple of fantasies. So I bought A Shadow in Summer by Daniel Abram. So, I'm not even sure, like, it's the first book in the Long Price Quartet, and I bought this because of Alan at the Library of Allenxdria. He's been raving about the series, and I just picked it up because there was a cheap copy at Powell's. So I don't actually know what this series is about. It's a fantasy. I will figure it out at some point. Sorry, that one I don't actually know. I just kind of bought that because it was there. And then I bought a book that I probably shouldn't have, because it's the next book in a series that I haven't started yet. And this is The Queen of Raiders. This is book 2 in the 9 Realms series by Sarah Koloff. So, Kolzoff. I have the first book, A Queen in Waiting, on my shelf, and have been for, for a year now, that I've been wanting to read. And I put it on my 5-star predictions, so I'm hoping to get to that in the next couple months. I was really hoping for February, but it didn't happen. But I bought the second one because this was a great copy and it was a Remainer. So I just thought, I'll just pick it up even though I don't need it right yet. And I'm just going to hope I love the series, that I'll be happy I picked up this copy. I don't know. I was in a buying mood that day for fantasy, because I also bought The Wolf by Leo Carew. So this is a first book in an epic fantasy series where there's, in the north, there is the people live long and they're own society kind of thing. And then there's the South people who are shorter lived and much more aggressive. And I think the South invades the North at some point. That's about all I know about this. I don't know anything else. I just hear really good things about the people who've read it. And the last one of the fantasies is kind of more historical fantasy, is The Lost Queen by is it Sigmund Pike? I'm not sure. Anyway, so this is first book in this trilogy, I believe. It takes place in Scotland. Yes. And it's kind of wrapped around a queen that knows stuff with Merlin and other things. And so it's her and her twin brother, I think, are trying to navigate. And I think somehow she gets pulled into things with Merlin and maybe Pendragon. I'm not quite sure how it all goes, but it sounds like interesting history, like a historical look at it, but fantastical in some way. So anyway, it looks good. Anyway, I want to read that. And then I have a couple of romances. 2 of them I pre-ordered. I think they were the only pre-orders I had this month. Was Waiting for a Scot Like You by Ava Lee. This is the 3rd book in the Union of the Rakes. I keep buying her books. I don't read them. So this is going to be something I'm going to try to get to this year, is to pick up one of her series. I have 2 of the Union of the Rakes. I have the first one and now this 3rd one. I don't know why I don't have the second one, and then I have one of her other series. I can't remember. It's not in here. What is it? The Wicked Quills of London. And then I don't think I have all of the London Underground, but I think I have one of them. I don't know. I have too many of her books. I have like at least 5 or 6 of her books now that I have not read. Now, she is an author I have read before, but I just haven't read under her Ava Lee name. I read under her Zoe Archer. So I need to read these Ava Lee books. So someone remind me. But this one has to do with an older, this is Regency, I believe, or something. But she's, I'm not sure exact time period, but she's a countess who's, her husband's passed away, and so her kids are grown, and so there's an older woman, and she's out to have some fun. I think now she's and she goes, I think she's on a trip, and I don't remember if he's guarding her or he meets her along the way, a younger man. And, you know, they have adventures on stuff that happens, and I guess there's one bed at one point. Anyway, so the point is I'm looking forward to that one, even though I need to read her books. I got too many of them. And then I also picked up Big Bad Wolf by Celine Snyder. I think that's how it's said. I'm not positive. I'm sorry. I saw this on Kazen at Always Doing, raving about this, and then I also saw, you know, she had a review on it, and I started following the author on Twitter, and so I pre-ordered the book, and it's just slightly ahead of our, you know, like in the future, but with shifters, and it's kind of supposed to be kind of a dark look at the U.S. and with but with shifters there as well as political stuff. And I think a wolf accidentally or a shifter actually kills somebody, and then the lawyer who's trying to help, they figure out that there's some kind of conspiracy going on. It's a love story, and it's like, it sounds fun and adventurous and a new series. So I tried that, and then I don't know where I saw this, and I don't know, and then I picked it up. So I must have seen this on somebody's channel. I'm not sure whose. I really have no memory of who I saw this on, but it's What Happens in Scotland by Jennifer McQuiston. And I've never read anything by her, but this is a book. It just made me laugh. Oh, it has a step back. Anyway, so it has to do, a woman wakes up. She doesn't know what happens. She wakes up and she finds out she's laying next to this guy and she's got a wedding ring on, and so she freaks out and runs. So I don't know. It just sounds funny. So I don't know how they got married or what happened or anything. So I don't remember where I heard about this, but it sounds good. Anyway. And then I got Radiance by Grace Drevin. I've heard a lot of people talk about this as a historic or a fantasy romance about two people from two different races, or I don't even know if it's planets. I don't know what kind of fantasy it is. But I think then they have to get married for an alliance kind of thing. And so they kind of both go into it knowing they have to do this. They're not, you know, happy about it, but that's kind of how that is. And then they, again, connect, but it's like there's a lot of stuff going on. So I think they have lots to deal with. But there's romance in there, so I'm hoping that's good. And then the only book that I've read of these books, which is sad, is Atomic Habits. Tiny Changes, Remarkable Results, an easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones by James Clear. So I just listened to this on audio last week, and I immediately bought this. I had to have it because there were so many good little tips in here that I heard that now I want to go back and mark and reread. I think he does really good about pulling from a lot of other books, because I've read a lot of other books on habits and on changing things like that. So I think he did a really good job of narrowing it down and doing and giving really good recommendations on how to address something or how to attack it from little steps and not just really big ones. So I had to get my own copy, and so I read it this month. But it's the only one and the only nonfiction, which was weird. I mean, again, everything, yeah, that was weird. But I did buy a lot of translated works this month, and that was you know, oh well. Anyway, so are any of these books you think I should read sooner rather than later? Any of them your favorites? Or just anything else? Did you buy anything really good in February? Did you go on a buying spree like I did? I must have been a little bit more depressed than I thought I was, like, or just buy happy, you know, like just finding something to do, because I spent a lot of money on books, which I didn't mean to, but I did. Anyway, so, all right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.